and a few other ladies that's in, within that organization, and we can get them on the show. They could probably give us a little bit more insight on what that's going to be like. So we may have a surprise today. I know everybody is all locked in with, familiar with MMA and UFC. We got our guy, Stotson versus Mix. That's happening next Saturday on the 22nd. We may have our guy, Pat Mix, calling in today. If you don't call in today, we'll definitely get him tomorrow night. But, he's up to fight, so we may get him on for the Battleweight Championship on Showtime this Saturday coming up. So, it's going to be great to hear from Pat. He may give us a call today, but for sure, tomorrow night is definitely something we'll get that guy on. So, spinning our tires back, gentlemen. NBA, we all know the Lakers took care of business just now.
What'd I say? What didn't I say Memphis was looking like a lick?
Yeah, they was looking like a lick. They was definitely looking like a lick. Torch, what is your thoughts on Memphis getting spanked at home?
So the score was 128-112. I was listening to you earlier on the way here from work.
Me too.
Shout out to the LA Lakers, by the way, for persevering. They have taken a lot of scrutiny this year. Being the team that just won the play-in. Here we go again. LeBron James is on the team. They should be better than this. They go into Memphis where anything can pop off, and they popped off. So I give them props. But I was listening to the totals that you was giving. I was listening to that earlier. You said 4 different Lakers players' names. And I heard one had 29 points. Who was that?
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, Rui.
Okay, so Rui Hachimura is going to have to average 29 points a game to keep the Lakers afloat. Is this what we expect from him every night? I hope we're not expecting these numbers every night.
But they also spanked them, though.
Right. I get it. The game was close for majority of it now. I seen majority of it.
It was close to like the last
2.5 minutes. Yeah.
Lakers pulled away.
Okay. So I seen what was going on. My thing is you're gonna have to expect that every night. And the fact that Ja Morant went down with the hand injury late in the game, could prove dividends for the Lakers as the series goes along, because we know 7 games can be long. I think this one is going to go 7 games, to be honest with you. I do have the Lakers winning the series, though. I know y'all probably surprised because I always talk about the Lakers to you. But yes, I do have the Lakers winning this first round battle.
The same thing you talk about Rui is on the flip side of Memphis. Okay, is Jaren Jackson going to be able to drop 31 tonight?
Not only that, but is D'Angelo Russell going to shoot 41% from the field every night? Is LeBron James only going to shoot 50% from the field every night?
Absolutely. You got to take those into perspective.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson is what? The defensive player of the year this year? Defensive player?
Not sure. We're not sure. Those awards have not been handed out yet. But, we'll talk about that when we return. We're going to take a quick break. Listen, phone lines are open. Hit us up, 716-837-1112. You know what to do. Big question. Will Magic Johnson change the name for the Washington Commanders to the Washington Lakers? We'll be right back with more on Wufo Sports Report in just a minute.
Washington Lakers.
Shout out to my lovely sis. Shout out to Letitia.
Big bro, what's good with you?
What up to my investigating bro?
Away from Ohio, Marcus tuning in.
EV, what's good? Latino Heat, what's good? Eddie. Shout out to Win all the way from Saudi Arabia. What's up? Good. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Dylan Brooks.
Idiot.
Thomas, what's up?
Talk all that crap.
Listen,
Manny, what's up?
They ain't see the mistake Clay made. You should have learned from that. He came back from 3-1 in the finals.
Right. Why would you?
And you ain't even got your stripes in his league.
Dylan need to be quiet.
And you talking to the GOAT, bro. Come on, dog.
Yeah, he talked too much.
8-14, 57%.
Yeah, he talked too much. I'm not
stupid.
a fan of Dylan Brooks.
I boy came in here with his Cat Williams hair. Like, bro, who respecting that, bro?
Yeah, we want to play LeBron, get them out right away.
And every time somebody make that
right to sleep, right? Right. Oh yeah, they're a good team. Blah, 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 blah. See, I said, well, you're just a super true fan. You don't let that stuff out. I'm gonna put him to sleep by praising him after the comments he made, and then I'm gonna silent assassin.
Your fucking throat. I mean, your freaking throat.
We're not on air, so you can.
Yeah, but every time, man.
You do that on a fan base. They cuss all the time.
Every time somebody do that, they end up having to regurgitate those words that they be saying all the time, man. Every time somebody do that, you don't mess with a goat or a legend.
Why would you? That's stupid. You just poking the sleeping bear.
All right, stop going at it. Yo, the number is 716-837-1112, by the way. And what's good, man? You already know what it is. Shout out to you, Lazarus. What's good? NCW, what up? Yeah, man. He talk too much, man. He ain't even that great of a basketball player to be talking like that. He's a average, semi better than average role player.
Dylan Brooks? No, he's average. He just plays for a good team, so it makes him look better.
Yeah, a little bit above that.
Yeah.
Did y'all see this shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
Talk about that right now.
You went to go to the Bills and the Chiefs.
You already know that's what's gonna happen when he get cut.
Salvatore Italian Gardens, 6461 Transit Road. The event, WUFO's annual free Mother's Day luncheon. This event, hosted by A.M. Buffalo's Mercedes Wilson and yours truly, Terry Davis, has sold out every year for over 25 years. So get your tickets now.
We'll be right back, y'all.
Some mothers, expecting mothers, and that woman who is a mother figure in your life. Because who is mom? The woman who is there whenever you need her. The woman who means more to you than anything, and who you have come to depend on, whether you realize it or not. And of course, the woman who loves you unconditionally.
You didn't want to last
Tell your mom you appreciate her and all that she has done and will do for you.
I was gonna go, but when he lost,
Annual free Mother's Day luncheon at Salvatore Italian Gardens, 6461 Transit Road on May 13th.
I'll be at a lot of games
There will
next
be
year,
a
though.
fashion show.
Because remember, we said last year, it's like, yo, this year they supposed to make the playoffs. What's good, though, they won 40-something fucking games. Next year for sure. They waited too late to bring it go. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Mix 1080 AM, WUFO, and our 96.5 FM. We are the community station. And we can prove it.
What's good, sports world? Welcome back to the Wufo Sports Pro. Once again, I'm your host, Muki Hawkins, on the ones and twos. Anita, Razor Shot Wells is in the building. Andre the Torch Robinson, Challenger Community News is in the building. Justice the General, Fan Base Bills Mafia, holla at your boys in the building. Now, DeAndre Hopkins. He was with my guy, Brian McFadden from CBS Sports. Shout out to my guy. All right. And they made him do these like emoji facial expressions on if he was to be traded, give it your best facial expression of that team. And, I was going to cut the chase. The Bills in Kansas City out of Jets in New England got the highest graded emoji. So, gentlemen, what do you take from that? Justice, we're going to start with you first. What do you take from DeAndre Hopkins' emoji notions on trade destinations?
I take from that maybe we were mistaken to think that we would have preferred OBJ over DeAndre Hopkins. And when I say that because the maturity level is clearly different. Not to say that OBJ is immature, but he still needs to take a few, lumps, clearly, right? To go to a team that currently does not have a quarterback under contract, because Lamar is like, I ain't signing that until, something happened, right? They don't want to pay the guy for the long term. I understand you go get your money. I ain't gonna never complain about that, but clearly DeAndre Hopkins wants to play for a winner, right? The Chiefs and the Bills don't really have that much cap space. He's not looking for a raise, he says, right? Your Jets and your Patriots, they got enough money to make you feel comfortable. They don't really have a ton of talent. They don't have a ton of talent, so they can make some moves to make you comfortable. But the Bills and the Chiefs are contending for Super Bowls, and they really can't sacrifice too much because there's not really a player in the league this worth enough to sacrifice everything they've built.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care. That's where I want to go. I want to go somewhere where I can contend to be a winner, and I think that's the maturity level. That is really the locker room presence we need. I love OBJ and I love the prospect of OBJ, but let's be honest, DeAndre Hopkins is way better for our locker room than OBJ would have been. So I like it. I like that he's interested in coming. I like that he's enthusiastic about it. I like that there's a real possibility that we could have Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. So it's crazy.
That's something that's very interesting. Church, I'm gonna let you go on. What are your thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins' trade destination?
I think it would be really good for him to come to Buffalo. First and foremost, he adds another dynamic to the Bills that the Bills obviously need, especially when you have Gabe Davis in question as a number 2, bringing D-Hop, somebody who's sure-handed, a veteran who can run all the routes, someone who definitely will help Josh Allen in the pass game and also open up the run game even more because, again, you have to look out and talk about DeAndre Hopkins every week. He's an every week conversation. Oh, what are we going to do with D-Hop this week? You have to look at him. You have to look at Diggs. So, I mean, it would be great for him to come here, especially, with a dog like Josh Allen. That culture would be even more. That culture would get even more of a boost. I don't know how much more of a boost you can build in that Dr. JA-17 culture that he got going on over there at One Bills Drive, but it definitely would elevate that even more. And plus, on top of that, if I'm D-Hop, I want to take down the beast.
Yeah,
the beast is Kansas City. I don't want to play for the beast. I want to take down the beast as a competitor. I want to be the person who raises that that AFC championship over the Chiefs the next time the Bills and the Chiefs see each other, because it could happen. It could happen next season. You just never know. If the Bills could get their it together, it could happen.
They shiggity.
If they could get it together, it could happen. So, I mean, it would be very nice for him to come here. I don't want to see him go somewhere where he's going to be a first round and out. That doesn't do him any justice. I think D-Hop as a player in itself deserves to go somewhere where the destination is the top, very top,
for sure. When you look at it, right? Okay, and just to go back to the OBJ thing. OBJ got a ring. He has a ring. So the hunger to get a ring isn't as important right now to me, I feel, to OBJ than this bag. So he don't care who the quarterback is. They say, we got 15 to 18 million for 1 year for you, OBJ. Pat McAfee could be the quarterback, for crying out loud, in Baltimore, this year for that 15 to 18 million. So I can't be mad at that. No. You know what I mean? OBJ wanted to go get his back. He got a ring. With DeAndre Hopkins, it's a different dynamic. You know what I mean? He's in his 30s too, so he has money. So right now, it's like I said, he wants to play on a contender team. He wants to compete for championships, and Kansas City and the Bills give him that. So of course, I mean, he's getting 19 million this year, from the Cardinals if everything stays as of today. As of today, DeAndre Hopkins is getting 19 million. Now, the Cardinals will be foolish to release him. That's why I say on draft night, I would suspect a trade. It's going to be a trade. It's going to happen with DeAndre Hopkins on draft day. They will be foolish to just release D-Hop and don't get nothing for him after you didn't gave Houston so much to get him. That just don't even make no sense to me at all. If the Cardinals just say, we're just going to cut you and, be done with it. Now it goes back to where the Bills' opening trade negotiations was the 5th round pick? Ed Oliver, maybe Gabe Davis in that package. My man Chris Trapasso put that out there. With Ed Oliver and Gabe Davis and the 5th round for Isaiah Simmons and D-Hop. I love my guys, but business side,
I like how you snuck Isaiah Simmons in there.
Yeah, I love my guys, but this is the business side of it. That's always nasty. It's never a good thing, but it's this business. It's nothing personal, you know, that I would go for that. I would go for that, you know, because you have to do something. If you're trading for DeAndre Hopkins, you're not going to pay Gabe Davis $12 to $14 million on an extension. I'm just thinking of the business side of it. Now, if I can keep Gabe and DeAndre Hop, man, I'm doing that all day because I don't want my guy to. I don't want Gabe Davis to go. You know what I mean? I don't want Ed Oliver to go. But the business side says something has to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Something has to happen in reference to that. So the Bills have a difficult decision to make, and learning from, you know, the Tremaine Edmonds thing, they hopefully, you know, they learn real quick because you can't afford any one of those guys to walk after you didn't drafted them, got them prepared, you know, and now you don't want to re-sign them, but you do that with everybody else. And don't do it with Ed Oliver or Gabe Davis because you didn't do it with Tremaine Edmonds. So that draft, develop, and resign theory now is in question. You know what I mean? So don't blame it on the cap. You got to put some priority where your priorities lie now on making these extensions and these decisions, these business decisions concerning the team. You know, and I just feel that, you know, hey, slap me if I'm wrong or whatever the case may be. I just feel that, to me, that, you know, Dawson Knox was more of a priority than re-signing Tremaine Edmonds. You know, that's just my opinion, you know, on that. So how do you learn from that, right? So you go and get D-Hop, you change the dynamic of everything, and, you know, we'll see on draft day because right now the favorites is Kansas City and Buffalo, and you can't argue between the two because Kansas City and Buffalo has two of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. So those both are like 50-50, you know, in my eyes. So pretty interesting. Draft will be coming up in like what's the day? Today is 16th. You got 12 days. Got 12 more days to the draft. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. Question: who do you think slides in this first round? Is there anybody right now? I know we're still 12 days away, but who in your mind you think that's going to slide in this draft? And when I mean by slide, he could easily be in a top 10 pick or he could be a top 15 pick, but now he's in the later portion of this draft.
Well, the NFL actually declined. Well, they chose not to invite Quentin Johnston at TCU.
Ooh.
They said that they feel like he's not going to be selected until somewhere in the 20 through 28 range.
Ooh.
And they don't want to embarrass him on TV, kind of like having like an Aaron Rodgers deal with him thinking that he might be a top 10, top pick. Then he has to sit there all night. But very interesting. They are inviting Jackson Smith, Enigma, and Jigba, and Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers. But they are not inviting Quentin Johnston. So, I mean, that's who the NFL thinks might be sliding.
Interesting. Torch, you got what you got to say about that? Because now that changes some things. That definitely changes some things. And I'll go right now. Just to piggyback off that. Now, if he slides, I'm not sure if the Bills go back. I think they could easily pull the trigger on this, so we won't be worrying about a D. Hopkins situation because now this guy will be under a rookie contract. I would entertain the thought of having a guy like Quentin Johnson because I've been saying that all last week. If he slides, then that's my receiver. He's 6'4", 6'5". I can work with that and pair him with Gabe Davis and Steph Diggs. I can work with that because it's cheaper, for one, and you do get a chance to develop that. And he's a bigger target for Josh Allen. And, he's fast as all you know what. So he gives you something that this team is lacking in. Somebody with size that's a red zone threat. He can stretch the defense as well. And, he has run after catch ability as well, too. So pretty interesting. Sorry, did you figure out a guy who could potentially slide?
So my first answer was going to be Bobby Boucher. All right, that was going to be my first answer.
Bobby Boucher? I'll take Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. But the real answer may be Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams ain't in this year's draft.
I was like, what?
Caleb Williams ain't in this year's draft. Quarterback?
USC?
He's not in this
I
draft.
think he's in this draft.
He is not in this year's draft. Next year he comes out.
I ain't heard a lick about Caleb Williams.
Yeah, he's not in this draft. He's not in this draft.
Okay.
Now, Will Levis is a quarterback that I feel that.
Oh
can
yeah,
slide.
well.
If we're
Levis.
talking quarterbacks, I think that he's going to slide, and potentially he can slide to Tampa Bay, and maybe that could happen because you got Baker there on a 1-year winner right now, and then you got Kyle Trask, who maybe not sure what they're getting in Kyle Trask. But let me ask you guys this question: out of all the teams in the draft, every year there's a team that messes up the damn draft, right?
Yeah.
It's always a team that just messes up the draft.
Trading up one spot
Right.
for Mitch Trubisky.
Who will be that team this year, guys? Who do you think that has the capability of just destroying the draft? Like, why did they take that pick? Or why did they, you know what I mean? Like, it's always that head scratcher. Philly was always like that for the past couple of years. So they finally got it right last year, saying, the heck with it. Let's just trade this pick. Get us A.J. Brown with this pick, right? So who do you think has the capabilities of just screwing up this whole draft process, George?
Interesting enough, I really do not have somebody who I think would interestingly screw up the draft process unless a quarterback that's supposed to be like a top 7 pick goes number 1 for some reason. Maybe Anthony Richardson, maybe.
You think that's a mess up?
I mean, he ain't projected to be number 1, so that would change a lot of franchises.
Yeah, but if you think he's the best quarterback, then why wouldn't you take him?
If Anthony Richardson goes number 1, do you know how many trades is going to probably be right after that?
Right. So here's the thing. So,
Arizona is going to be licking their chops like, come on, baby, come on, phone ring, telephone ring.
So let me interject on that comment. If you think he's the best quarterback, well, I mean, Daniel Jones wasn't the 6th best. I mean, he wasn't the top 6 pick. Do you think he really was top 6 worthy?
Who, I mean, as of right now, it's looking like he might have been.
I disagree with that. I still don't think he's a top.
He's got $180 million, dog.
He get $180 million. I mean,
they were at least comfortable with their pick.
With the right system. But I don't think that he was a top 6 pick, period.
Yeah, that kind of speaks to my point, though, because if you feel like that's your guy, then go get him. They felt like that was the guy. They went and got him. He played well enough to at least get a max contract.
Okay, so here's my other point. Played in, you said 180 is a max contract. That's what you.
Not a max, but you know what I mean.
So how
you
many
getting 40
years?
M's? You getting 40?
I mean,
he up there.
I mean,
he's getting more than Baker Mayfield.
Right. You know that the market, they overpay for quarterbacks all the time. To me, he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league.
No,
he's not a top 10 quarterback in the league. So to say that Daniel Jones is your guy, yeah, he only was the guy because he reminded him of Eli Manning and the Giants. That relationship that they have with the Mannings and stuff like that. So Daniel Jones got brung in as a top 6 pick, but as far as the Carolina Panthers, obviously they could be the number 1 pick. They could go after Anthony Richardson. Which would you say that Anthony Richardson is the best quarterback on the draft board? No, which would make
depends on what your criteria for best is.
Okay, what does he do that you think is better than every other quarterback?
He is literally the most physically athletic quarterback to ever come out of college.
Physically athletic. That's it.
Josh Allen was physically athletic.
Yeah. Okay. So when you say physically athletic, are you talking about his arm strength?
Everything. Arm strength, speed, strength, jumping ability, 3-cone, all of it. He has a 100 percentile RAS score. Okay. He is literally the highest rated athletic quarterback to ever be drafted.
All right. So then why wasn't he number 1 on everybody's mind?
Because he's not developed. He's raw, right? He's not pro ready, as they say. As it were.
We don't
start that pro ready.
Because y'all don't know what it means.
It's
because y'all don't know what it means.
We do know what it means. We already broke that down on Monday night and Wednesday night.
We figured that one out.
Anyway, look, Josh Allen wasn't the projected number 1 pick, but the Browns look stupid now for not taking him.
Right, so you don't think him going number 1 makes other team cultures have to decide on another
Oh
quarterback.
yeah,
Which makes
absolutely.
another team.
Oh,
have to
he's
decide on
right.
another
He's
quarterback.
right. It's pandemonium if
Right.
Anthony Richardson goes first. So I
That was my point.
okay, fair enough.
Right.
I guess for me, the only thing was I don't think that would be a stupid pick. I say if you think that a guy is the best player there or could be the best player there, like Patrick Mahomes didn't even start. He didn't play. He played one game his first year, right?
Yeah, I
so
don't think it's
you
a
could
stupid
say,
pick.
okay, Patrick Mahomes is not going to be able to come in this year and lead my team, but you just passed up on what could be the greatest quarterback of all time now because you didn't want to take the guy who wasn't ready day one. Right. So Anthony Richardson, who has the capability, he's the highest ceiling 4 times over any of these other quarterbacks. His ceiling is top of the top.
Well, let's say this: Anthony Richardson is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes coming out of college. Nowhere
Coming out
near
of college?
coming out of
college?
Yes.
Nah,
Anthony Richardson is nowhere near
I'm not saying
Patrick Mahomes
I'm not saying
coming out of college.
I'm not saying that.
You check the stats.
Yeah, but
check
you
the
can
stats.
also check the physical ability.
Okay.
Stats have a lot to do with the situation you were in, but when it comes to whether you can do something or not, of course, Patrick Mahomes had all the tools, and that's why he was a first-round pick to begin with.
Yeah, he was a much more pure passer than Anthony Richardson.
For sure, but
right.
Anthony.
So we're basing this on the position of athleticism or the actual.
No, I'm talking about being a football player overall.
Overall, I'm still going with
No. I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes, 7-time MVP, whatever the case. I'm talking about Texas Tech. I don't know if he's rated higher than Anthony Richardson.
Go back and watch the tape.
I watched the tape. I'm talking about being rated higher. He was the 13th pick. Anthony Richardson, I expected to lead the top 5.
In this era, of course, because of the athleticism. If it comes down to
but we're talking about a rating coming out of college. That's all I'm saying. I think it's comparable. I'm not saying he's better or worse. I'm just saying it's not as far off as.
So here's my question: who had the better foundation between the two? Anthony Richardson,
Patrick Mahomes. Texas Tech was a way better quarterback ground than Florida.
You gotta understand, Cliff Kingsbury was was the head coach there at that time.
Right, but this is why I asked the question. This is why I asked the question, because a lot of people would say Florida.
The air raid just got hot at the right time. So Kingsbury, he got graduated to the league. So did Baker. So did Murray. So did Mahomes. You know what I mean? They had a great run, right?
But the reason why I asked that is because a lot of people get the assumption that SEC teams have obviously the better background, being that they're the better.
That's
yes, but it's different for quarterback because Cliff Kingsbury was bred to be a quarterback's coach, not a head coach, but a quarterback's coach. Yes, he's a very good quarterback's coach. And I remember the game. I was watching the game where Patrick Mahomes and Baker was going back and forth, each passing for 500-600 yards in that game alone, and it was 5 touchdowns, 6. It was crazy, and I was like, wow, these boys could sling it.
Another question, gentlemen. Houston has the number 2 pick. They just got a head coach who is a defensive guy. What if Houston shakes up this draft and don't go quarterback and go edge?
Stupid.
Go edge rusher.
Extremely stupid.
How would I be extremely stupid?
You don't have a quarterback.
Who is the quarterback? Yeah, they do got a quarterback right now. Who's the quarterback at Houston? I mean,
they got a quarterback, but you don't know who the quarterback is.
I mean, Sam Darnold. No, Sam Darnold is Sam Fran.
No, boy.
But expect
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Davis Mills.
I'm not giving up on C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
You gotta pay close attention to what could happen. Maybe they may be in position to snatch up another guy, a corner or a defensive guy, and then go trade back in and go get that quarterback. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at it from that angle.
That would be very wild.
It's going to be so. This draft here is going to be pretty interesting because there's no consensus, unanimous number 1 pick. Right. I mean, we all know that Bryce Young is leading the pack right now, slightly but lightly. But other than that, you don't know what direction these guys are going to go in. Ready, Rob? Get out of here. What are you doing?
Y'all saw that.
You saw it. Ready, Rob? Come on with this.
You on Cam. You on Cam, dog.
7. What are you doing here right now? Lee Razor Sharp alone. But they could shake up this draft by doing what all these teams that we're thinking that's going to take a quarterback. If they don't take one, then that's definitely going to shift this draft drastically. So any one of those teams that's slotted to take a quarterback, don't take a quarterback, is really going to screw things up. And this thing is going to go haywire, and I'm really excited. I can't wait for these 12 days to come around because, I mean, we still don't know what really is going to happen. Indy may go corner and don't take a quarterback and then jump back in this thing. So that's it's a lot of things that can be considered on how teams are going to go about basically selecting guys. It's some quarterbacks that's still available, that's serviceable. Are there tier ones after Will Levis? Possibly not. Herndon Hooker probably be the next guy in, and then Tanner McKee from out of Stanford probably be that next guy. But after that, it's it gets kind of like bland after that. So that's what 5. It's like, to me, in this year's draft, it's 6 to 7 quarterbacks that I feel that can have a legitimate shot, either starting or being a backup, pushing the starter, and eventually taking over. Depends on what team they go to. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how teams' boards basically fall out.
Real quick, another sleeper is Las Vegas. We know they done made some very odd draft picks in the past. When you look at when they got that real fast kid, I forgot who it was.
Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, him too. But I can't think of his name right now. But they also took Cleveland Farrell. Remember the 4th pick? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like when they took him, everybody was like,
those
"What?"
Guys that Mike Mayock was the general manager.
No, but they also have the boy out of New England as the head coach right now, so they're liable to make some mistakes. That's all I'm saying.
Josh McDaniels. Okay, so here's my thing. A couple of things real quick. Just for the fact that you just spoke on the Raiders is the reason why I wanted to ask this question. Mm-hmm. What player do you think, or quarterback do you think that's not in the top 10 or 15 could shoot up to the top 10 or 15 just due to a team's, chemistry or a team's?
I think Will Levis will probably be that guy. Anthony Richardson can be if he slides to the Raiders and the Raiders don't take him, watch him to slide. But we got a timeout. We do got a caller. We're going to get to our caller, but we're going to take this timeout real quick. So keep it locked on Legendary. We'll be right back. I think that he would slide. Like
they dogged Mike Mayock though. He should have never been nobody's GM.
They take that money, bro. They offer you.
It's like Jeff Saturday with the head coach.
His privilege.
I don't care. I'm gonna sue. I could be an NFL analyst all day, but somebody say, "Hey man, we like how you take these picks. You know what you're talking about. Try being a general manager." I'm gonna try that for the bread.
Nah, I don't think so.
Don't always the winner in life. My guy was good. What's good, Caitlin?
So yeah, I mean, if the Raiders, they got Jimmy G, so I don't think the Raiders are going to entertain taking a quarterback there. I just really don't. Maybe Herndon Hooker can be available for them early in the second round. Herndon Hooker is going to be a surprise guy because again, he can afford to sit behind Jimmy G and get his knee completely healthy, and eventually be that guy for the Raiders. I'm hoping that will happen because I ain't got to worry about them taking down there in Washington if Quentin Johnson don't slide to 27.
Dennis, I see.
You know what I mean? So
Wayne, what's up, Wayne?
That's where I think with that one. So
yo, wait a minute. Time. So you don't think somebody like Dorian Thompson Robinson could sneak up? No, I don't think he's good enough to sneak up. He can't do the Daniel Jones. By the way, the Caleb Williams comment was somebody on my.
Oh, that was wild.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, he gonna slide.
He's not eligible until next year.
Right. And he projected to be the number one.
Probably say he's gonna be the number one pick next year. I don't see where he's gonna slide. Yeah, he's gonna slide to number one next year. That's where he's sliding to. That's where he's definitely gonna slide to. So you would pick back. I don't know who the caller is.
Oh, I need to. You mentioned 3 games, sir. Basketball games. I need to interject on this thing. Like Fox a lot, like Monk a lot. Watched them a lot in college. My thing is, they gonna have to do a hell of a job against these Golden State Warriors to win this series. 38 points. My man put up 38.
Who did?
Buddy.
Steph?
Fox.
Oh, Darren
Boy,
You like
oh
that,
boy.
De'Aaron Fox like that. He always been like that.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Aaron Fox is a beast. Can nobody check him?
He is a beast. You don't have to put up 38 every
He can
night.
do that.
Every night, late night. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you gotta think game 1, 2, you just started getting used to, playoff atmosphere. A lot of teams that was at home took a couple L's.
This just in. Giannis Antetokounmpo will not play.
Not playing
What?
for the series or game
Not
1?
playing game 1 right now. That explains why they are down. Let's see the check. Yeah, they're down right now, 60-52.
Against who?
Miami.
Oh, you can't sleep on Miami neither. Stop that sleeping.
It was just
They
a
better,
one seed last
they
year.
better get Giannis. They better get Giannis back in there.
Why is he not playing? Does it say?
Back contusion.
Oh, something to watch for the series.
For the whole playoffs.
Yeah, but that too. My man Jalen Brunson is next. And the Knicks are the 5th. Did anybody know that the Knicks is the 5th highest offensive team in the league? Did y'all know that?
Man, Julius Randle shoots 10 threes a game.
Oh, yes, he do. Did you know that?
I just know they better.
Did you know that?
They better be
Did
happy.
you know
they ain't
Cleveland is
trade
the
for,
4th best defensive team in the league?
They didn't look like it yesterday.
They damn sure didn't. But the Spider definitely was trying to go to work.
Yeah.
He definitely was trying to go to work.
But they got those bigs. They got Aaron and they got Mobley. But they got they defense on the perimeter as well.
Yeah, the Knicks look comfortable though.
The Knicks lucky
They
they
look
ain't going to
confident.
get Mitchell. They lucky they ain't going to get Mitchell because they traded all that away just to be
What's
slightly.
good?
above
What's
where they are.
good? What's good, sports world? Welcome back to Wufo Sports Park. Once again, I'm your host, Muki Hawkins. Ones and twos, Anita Razor Sharp Williams, Andre the Torch Robinson, Justice the General is joining me inside the booth. This fourth quarter is being brought to you by Premier Cigars. Nothing but the best premium cigars you can get in Western New York. Make sure you head over to 1327 Jefferson Avenue. Tell them I sent you. Go get you a nice Nicaraguan or something that you make your face go numb a little bit. But we do have a caller. Let's bring him in if we can, if we still are. Caller, you are live. State your case.
What's going on, fellas? This is Jared.
Oh, my guy. The Black Milk Hyper has upon us. Jared. Now, we were just talking. We're going to have you on tomorrow, too, because, we only got like 4 minutes. So we're going to bring you on late night sports to really break down this thing. You have a question for us, first and foremost? You have a question for us?
Yeah, I do, guys. So for the most part, guys, when we talk about the Buffalo Bills, of course, we're getting a lot closer to draft. We all have our mock drafts, and a lot of us have us taking offensive players. A lot of us, we all know this, right? Because we saw the game against the Bengals, and yeah, I mean, for the most part, we all know what happened. We got dominated literally from the inside out, and everyone wants us taking a tackle or guard. However, what is there even a chance? Is there even a possibility that we may focus on taking defensive players potentially? Because this is something that we've been arguing, trying to focus on the offense for the last couple of years. But based off what Brandon Beane and Darren can do, there's a lot more holes, more say in our defense than we can even expect. What do you guys think of the possibility of us taking a defensive player, maybe like a Matty Smith or maybe someone from the linebacking position, defensive line position, maybe focusing on safety for the future?
Did Coach McDermott play safety at William & Mary? That's 1,000%, chance that the Bills will go defense. They've been going defense in the McDermott era, except for 1 year, and that was Josh Allen. So of course they can easily go, defense. But I mean, everybody is begging for the Bills to get Josh Allen some sort of weapon, and I ain't talking an offensive lineman either. A tight end, or a receiver, or a running back. Somebody that's going to help Josh, score points. And Noah Lyman does that as well by his blocking and stuff like that. But somebody that's really going to pose an impact. So I would say, of course, they can easily go defense, but this is the year again to dive back into the offensive pool and go get you a guy that can help this offense. George?
No. The answer should be no. It definitely should be offensive player. They definitely need to put more onto that offense. Somebody will block. I mean, Mookie got me sold already. I'm just waiting to the first round when they trade out of the first round and they get more picks And then I see them go get that Georgia tight end that's going to fall right there in the second round. Somebody who could block, somebody who could be a red zone threat, somebody who can definitely, open up the field for you. He's 6'7",
6'7", quits.
Wow, 6'7", 260, 70 pounds, running 4.49.
4.6.
So 4.6. Okay, 4.6. I'll take that any day of the week. Go ahead and get him, and then go get your linebacker after that with them extra picks that you just got, and do what it do. Because I heard the Bills might be getting AJ Klein back too.
He's not going to start though. We're not going to get into that. Torch, what's your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's a possibility. I feel like it's unlikely originally, but if a guy were to slide, then I feel like it becomes a real possibility. If a guy like Trent Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson, was a slide, or Nolan Smith is there. I also really like that pick you said, Jarek, of Mozzie Smith out of Michigan. The boy is big, stout, very, very strong. He could really, really help us in the run defense category. So I feel like it's a possibility, but I feel like it's unlikely. If we were to stick at 27 and none of there's not a surprising pick there for a defensive player to be picked for the Bills, if there's not a best player available at the defensive position, I feel like chances are we probably go offense if we actually stick at 27.
No doubt. So there you have it, Jarek. I'm going to cut you short today because we're going to dive right back in this tomorrow for pretty much the length of tomorrow night's show. We're going to really start breaking down this draft, and hopefully I can get my girl Sheena Quick on for the Carolina Panthers so we can talk about what direction that the Carolina Panthers are really going to go to in week one. So, Jarek, I appreciate you calling in, but we're going to need your expertise and insight for late night sports tomorrow night. All right, my guy?
Yeah, no problem, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. So yeah, gentlemen, that's what we're gonna close this thing up, but we're gonna pick right back up tomorrow night and dive right into this draft because it's about that time, right? So it's a lot of questions we're gonna have to start breaking down and really start figuring out what direction are the Bills really going to head in. Start seeing what our possible scheme fits and what could really happen. Will Coach McDermott go defense or offense first? That's the biggest thing. That may be the next poll question on the Bills Mafia fan page, Power 96.5 Radio. Who would the Bills go? Let's get those percentages up right now. Offense or defense with pick 27 if they stay put right there. So on behalf of Anita Razor Sharp Williams, Andre the Torch Robinson, Justice the General, I'm Muki Hawkins. Stay safe, choose love, not hate, and don't forget to wash those damn hands, man. Peace.
Fanbase voted that Magic Johnson and company erased the legacy of Dan Snyder and changed the name.
Yes.
55% yes, 45%.
So AJ Klein, we know he's not gonna be a starter, obviously.
He's a great depth piece,
but does that now mean that you don't have to draft for one?
What?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, draft for one as high as you do.
I mean, you can't. You need a top 3 pick.
Okay.
They got to get him in the second round. If they don't go linebacker first, they got to get him.
You got to be a top 3
round because their next pick is 91. If they don't trade back,
even if they get somebody, so just like you were saying earlier in the show, like Isaiah Simmons or somebody.
Oh yeah.
Well, that changes everything. If they get
but
Isaiah
my
Simmons.
thing with that, he can play in the middle, but he's more of the hybrid.
You're like a safety,
right? He's the hybrid, really. That really should be the will, which is Matt Milano's position.
Oh, AJ Klein?
No, Isaiah Simmons.
Oh, Isaiah Simmons.
Now, I was saying back then the Bills should have drafted him, but he went top 10 pick. Like, was he in the same draft with he went right before we took Ed Oliver. He was 8.
Oh,
right?
Isaiah Simmons was
8, and then Ed Oliver was 9. Something like that.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Garcia and Davis fight this one?
It's a Saturday. They fight Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday night?
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that probably like Wednesday.
Oh, that's
recap.
Somebody just at the barber shop.
Yep, he was the 8th pick.
The 8th pick. So the Bills probably would have took Isaiah Simmons. because that's the true hybrid that McDermott is looking for. Somebody 6'4", 230. You know what I mean?
You wonder why they keep
35.
bringing back Dean Marlowe. Is they looking for that?
Right. But you turn Milano into that, and then the way I say that Trenton Simpson they don't take Trenton Simpson because you can't have two little ass linebackers in the middle of your defense. You got it. That's why I say I like Noah Sewell. I mean, I know everybody is saying Jack Campbell, but I think that Sewell sheds blocks way better than Jack Campbell. But Jack Campbell he's a little taller. He plays downhill, and again, Sean McDermott loves Iowa guys.
That's Jack Campbell. I need to look at Noah Sewell's tape, but I went over our draft class because I'm still gonna write that article. But today I was finishing up the tape on him. Jack Campbell kind of he nice. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he do. Yeah, he's official. He definitely changed my entire opinion.
They haven't brought him in for a draft, is it?
Oh, I gotta look at that.
What article you write?
For the
you writing them out?
Wufo draft with it, yeah.
I'll put my mock up too. Sometimes I hide that shit up. I ain't put that shit up. It's been a long but great weekend here, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing today. Putting that mock up. My 2.0, and then I put the
trade for Buda Baker and D-Hop and Simmons. What do you expect us to give up for Buda Baker, D-Hop, and Simmons?
Because he requested a trade too. I don't know what the hell's going on with Arizona. But I mean, you gotta look at those guys know that Arizona ain't ready to win now. And then that what's name is not going. I'm telling you, Kyler Murray is not going to play this year.
Yeah, he screwed them over.
He's not going to play. When did he get hurt? He got hurt like towards the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
So ain't no reason to bring him back. What you gonna bring him back for?
What you gonna do?
He's sitting the rest of the year.
Oh, next
it's
year.
It's a 4-year injury. So if when he tear his AC?
Later,
week what?
Later
12?
It was late.
Right. So he got to come back week 12 of next year. I'm sitting for that year. So I don't think Coach McCoy is the guy. You got to do head coaching there. So
you damn near might as well take next year.
Yeah. And that's why probably that's why players trying to get the hell out of Arizona. They ain't got time to tank. They get in their bag, but those guys want to win. That's why Buda Baker like, what are we doing? Get me out of here too. If y'all going clean house, let's clean. Get me. I'm going too. Get me going. Get me going. That's what we ain't have time to talk about.
Kyler about to sit there with that contract. Yo,
sitting there with that guaranteed money.
Imploded, dog. That's crazy.
So a guy like I'm telling you now, Herndon Hooker is going to end up getting drafted higher than expected because of shit like that. Arizona could take him at 34. Indy could take him at 35 if they don't get him.
He tore the ACL and the
Raiders can take one. The Raiders can take a quarterback. I'm telling you, Herndon Hooker come late rounds. That's where I say the Bills can make that trade if they go back and snatch a Herndon Hooker. But Indy has Garner Minshew. Do they ride out with Garner Minshew? And
this year, maybe.
This year, and then let Herndon Hooker take over.
Yeah.
Do the Raiders think about taking him in the second round, let him sit behind Jimmy G? Or do Arizona take Herndon Hooker and say, hey, we're gonna learn from Colt McCoy? You know what I mean? I don't know. Who's the quarterback in Arizona right now? Who else is on their roster?
Yeah, it was late December.
Right, so he's not coming back. I wouldn't want him to come back.
He's not playing next season.
He's not going to play next season. Like, what is he going to give you? Now, listen. What's the reason if he comes back and they're out of the playoffs?